Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So it looks like Nintendo has filed a new patent to try to fight online cheating, and we may have found out what Kojima's current project is. We have those topics and more to cover, but before we get started, if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing. That's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content on this channel. Now let's get started. First, we have this article from OP Attack. Nintendo patents attestation program to fight cheating, software changes. As many of you may be aware, the original Nintendo release was very easy to hack, and I'm sure that makes it pretty easy for people to modify the software and possibly cheat online. This article here has a quote from the patent. The technology described implements attestation programs that employ code reuse techniques. In particular, the technology relates to auto-generating attestation programs for, among other aspects, detecting whether a program has been modified. In one non-limiting example, the technology uses a tool that scans a software program code for usable code sequences. The tool can automatically combine code sequences to generate a large number of attestation programs of different variety, for example, memory checks and hashing. Now what this is a program that will do ongoing checks for code changes. See, most cheats make ongoing changes to the software. This is also how most DRM software works, and Nintendo seems to be developing its own system. Now, patents get filed all the time and don't always get implemented, but this sounds like something Nintendo really would be looking into. So recently, we've seen stories of video game companies and publishers being acquired or heavily invested in. Well, over the weekend, we had a story of an acquisition that almost happened. Let's take a look at this headline from VGC. EA is allegedly pursuing a sale and has talked to Apple, Amazon, and Disney. A new report claims the publisher entered into talks about a potential Comcast merger. So apparently a deal almost went through with Comcast but fell through last month. This is according to a report by the news site Puck.News, which is paywalled, but VGC has a summary of it here. The report talks about how the CEO of Comcast, Brian Roberts, allegedly proposed to spin off NBC Universal and merge his company with EA. The general terms of the proposal, which lawyers and bankers for both sides negotiated for several weeks, would have seen the Roberts family take majority control of the combined entity. In the configuration most seriously discussed, the company would have been run by Wilson. Now this is referring to Andrew Wilson, who is the current CEO of EA. This article gives us some insight as to why so many game companies have been involved with mergers and acquisitions. See, during the pandemic, video game companies performed well and now are seen as a safe bet. But I would expect EA to continue to shop around since this deal didn't go through. However, they may be overvaluing themselves, which could make them a hard sell. And since the article refers to them shopping around and having talks with Apple or Amazon or Disney, it doesn't seem like they want to be acquired by another video game publisher. So I would say the odds of them being acquired by, say, Microsoft or Sony are pretty slim. Next, it looks like we may have a leak about Death Stranding 2. This headline here from VGC, Norman Reedus claims Death Stranding 2 is in early development. Now this is the actor who plays the main character in the first Death Stranding. And we have a little more here from the article. While the sequel has yet to be officially announced, Reedus told digital publication Leo Edit that work has just kicked off on a follow-up to Kojima Productions' PlayStation and PC game. And he's quoted here, "We just started the second one," said Reedus, who played protagonist Sam Porter Bridges in the original. So I guess this is an oops on his part because he was probably still under a non-disclosure agreement. But if you look back in some of the history of what Ritas has said in the past, in March 2020, he said he was in talks to work on another Kojima project. In this past August, he stated he believed Death Stranding 2 was going to happen as discussions had begun about the sequel. Now, since Ritas said he just started the motion capture, it could take a while for this to be done. However, they could already be about a year into the project, already working on environments and other things that don't need the motion capture. So it could still be 2 or 3 years away from a release, but at least we now know what Kojima's working on. Because on Saturday we had this tweet from Kojima that has a picture of him with the actor, and it says, "Go to your private room, my friend." And finally, if you'll remember, we got a look at some of the retro games that are coming to the new PlayStation Plus service, and it looks like some of those may be getting trophies. We have this tweet here from Ben Studio. Incoming from Ben Studio. Agency intel reports that Siphon Filter will include trophies when it arrives on the all-new PlayStation Plus. And they follow up with, and yes, you can earn the Platinum too. Now, we don't know if this is going to be on all the retro titles. If so, it could be the reason why the retro selection seemed small to start. They may have to work on each title to create the trophies, and that could take some time to plan out and develop. But I do like the trophies being added to these older titles because there may be some challenges in there that you hadn't thought of, and you can try to strive and get the most out of one of these older games. And that's all we have for today. Did anything we talk about catch your attention? Do you play a lot of online games on the Switch, and have you found cheating to be a problem? And what kind of trophies would you like to see on games such as Siphon Filter? Drop a comment below about that or anything else we covered today. And on one more note, you may have noticed I've changed the format of the videos. As I'm learning more, I'm trying to update it and make it a little easier to watch. So be sure to drop me a comment and let me know if you like this new format or should I go back to the old one. And make sure to share this with your friends if this is something they're interested in. I want to thank you for watching and be good.